What's good, everyone? Welcome back to Mental Groove. Today we're reacting to another classic Kevin Samuels moment that's sure to turn heads. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stick around. I'll be sharing my full reaction after the clip. Let's jump right into it.
I am well. How are you?
I'm fine.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
All right. You saw that. What do you got on top? What are we talking about?
Yeah, I was just trying to piggyback off of the last live. The woman I saw, like the extremely high expectation and her not living in her own reality. And I think it's a really big problem with like past generations and even a lot of like city girl generations on how you want to manifest and create this big life in your head with no plan on yourself on how to achieve it. You can't
Well,
look to
a lot of this city girl stuff. I mean, I don't think they've done a lot of damage. This manifest shit has done a lot of damage because
yeah.
these women really believe this stuff.
They believe it like they don't have to. They believe it's like they don't understand. Like when it comes to manifesting something, you gonna manifest the best man, but all the universe gonna be able to give you is whatever is in your reach. So if you reaching out of the hood, if you reaching out of poverty, that's all you're gonna get. You're gonna reach for the man that's the best poverty kind of nigga you can get. You can't get you can't get things that you are not aligned with.
Hold
You
on
can't
just a
try.
second. Hold on just a second. Hello. How are you?
Hi, you caught me while I was driving.
I caught you. Okay.
Yeah.
I saw the link. All right. Well, come back if you park sometime soon.
Okay.
All right. So you make a good point. They're always worried about the manifesting, but it's always coming to them. It's not like they got to do anything. You can manifest some BS, or can you keep it? So, I did ask the other lady. I'm gonna ask you too. What did your mother teach you about relationships and men, if anything?
Absolutely nothing.
Really?
No, nothing at all.
Is she married or what?
Yeah, mom just got married again. She's been married for a year, like her third husband.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hold on. We got three people joining. Okay, everybody needs to get on camera. So, the lady on the top, your first name is
Jada.
Destiny.
Jada. Okay. And let's see. Let's do this. And the lady on the bottom.
Me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Jesus Christ. This bouncing. I can't. Who is this? The real Miss Madam.
Hello, how are you?
Well, what's your first name?
Ayana.
What do you got on the topic? You're driving.
Yes.
What do you got?
So I would like to say that the last woman was definitely she didn't really know what she was talking about for her own self. But I would like to say though that I do feel not all black women fit this stereotype. There are a lot of black women who do know how to cater to a man and who are worthy of
What
being
percentage?
like men.
What percentage of adult black women fit the?
I'm not gonna lie, I think it's low. I think it is low.
What is? Give me a ballpark.
Probably about 30.
30%.
And
Thirty
this
percent
is one of
are
my thing
Hold
about
on.
are
Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. See, what are you basing that on?
I'm going to base that off of just watching people and listening to people in my current generation, their ideologies of what relationships
How
and
old are
marriage
you
are to them.
again? How old are
I'm
you
sorry?
again? How old are you again?
I'm 23.
So the woman next to you is 24 and she doesn't agree with you. She's in your generation. When you said 30%, she was like, "No."
You don't think so?
no man.
I agree with her. I don't know.
Because well, for
30% is
one,
crazy.
when it comes to this thing on black women don't do this or black men don't do that, it's like as soon as I feel like my personal opinion, as soon as somebody says that, you're speaking on a statistic that you scientifically don't have no fucking idea on what you're talking about. You do not know every black woman or black man on this fucking earth to make up this statistic. So I feel like when
Let's do it.
you
Okay, let's
catch
do
a
a favor. Let's do something. Let's take the curse words out. Let's keep it clean.
okay.
But see, when you say, "ma'am," and I don't want to when I hear you say that, I don't feel like all black women do this. Enough of them do it to where it's a problem.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely that's true.
So if even 30%, what percentage of women do you think is too much?
50, or really
It,
not even 50. Really, probably a number that's lower than that. But
which
now,
hold
but
on,
what?
what? Okay, hold on, ma'am. If the number is lower than 50, what is it?
I'll probably say about a good 40.
So I think you knew the truth, but you've already said something that dug a hole. That the number is already too high, even if you thought it was 30%. So in this short statement, you've already countered your own argument. Enough black women are doing the things we're talking about to where it's too much.
And it's not even really a color thing at the end of the day. It's like women in general.
Yep, it's
It's
becoming more and
like
more
you
women.
keep saying, you keep telling them, you keep saying, forget what she looks like, and it's like all the black women especially are ignoring that part when you say forget what she looks like, and they still want to argue. Well, black women, fighting to be loved, and it's like already love yourself, already know that you're valuable. You don't need somebody to tell you that black women are valuable.
We we
You
haven't been
already are that.
we have not been taught to value relationships. We've been taught to value individuals. But
Now
we
that
all let's go. Hold on. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, not to interrupt you, but I just want to intercept on that because I don't necessarily think that is true. I know, especially for me, the women I grew up with and a lot of the friends I associate with, we were taught, we definitely were taught, basically just household structures, and
What
we were
percentage of
presented
women
to
were raised
very
like you?
early.
Man, what percentage of women were raised and taught like you?
A low number as well.
What does that be? What would that be?
I would say about 25%.
So every time I say something, you want to go back to this anecdotal, what you and your handful of friends do. Then I ask you one question and you have to take a deep breath and give me a number that you know is still wrong.
But so
Do
really,
most, no ma'am, no. You're disagreeing in your feelings.
I'm not disagreeing. My
Do
point
we have
is
enough black women who are fit and ready to be wives and want to be wives now?
no.
Then what's the point? Why are you arguing? So
The
my
point
question is,
is
so
my
why do we argue, why do we want to come in and throw off the conversation to talk about the people who are like you?
well, I don't want to talk about the people that are like me. The point of me getting on this live is to actually point out a present issue is that now while I do believe that a lot of women aren't able to be ready to be wives yet in our generation, I don't blame that on the women of our generation. As you were talking to the woman
Man,
earlier,
ma'am, whose responsibility is it to do something about it?
the men in our generation.
Bullshit. No. The men are not responsible for fixing grown ass women. You're responsible for fixing yourself. Just like the men of this generation are responsible for their fathers or whatever, men are responsible for addressing their issues. This is where we disconnect. And if are women sentient adults, then they're responsible.
So as you were
No,
saying with
no,
the
are they?
woman
Do they
earlier,
get? Do
can
they
I
get to?
explain
Do they
myself?
get to vote? Do they get to vote? Are they? Do they have equal representation in this country?
Yes, they do. We do.
Then they have to have the. Guess what? Freedom comes with responsibility.
It
You're
does.
talking. You're saying that men who are not related to these women, it's our responsibility to fix them. How do you propose that to happen in a free and open democratic society?
Okay, so the reason why I place the responsibility on men to not only fix the women in their
How
generation,
do
but
you
also
propose that
take
happens in a free and open
control,
democratic? How do you? I don't. Okay. How do you propose that happens in a free, open, democratic society?
men have to take control of themselves.
How do you take control of individuals in a free, open, democratic society?
I believe that men in general, especially Black men, have to be able to love one another, to build up one another, teach one another morals, just like about you said, setting their standard
How
higher.
do men
Men have to set
How
their
do
standard
men address this?
higher.
No, ma'am. How do men take control and do anything about the situation in a free, open, democratic society? Tell us how we're supposed to control grown ass people.
Starting at their birth.
Ma'am.
Behaviors are taught.
Ma'am, that make no, ma'am.
Behaviors and
no, ma'am,
ideologies are
no,
taught.
ma'am, no.
So if men
No,
are
ma'am,
surrounding
no,
these
absolutely
women
not. See, this is
with the way they
no,
want them to
I'm
think,
about to drop you and go off, man. See, you want to have a conversation or you want to talk this shit. You're not going to just talk over me. You're talking about men are supposed to take control. And then when I ask you, how do you do that in a free, open, democratic society? You say starting from their birth. These men, the only way that happens is if she's married to a man, their children are in the house, and he's her father.
I agree.
Okay, but that's not what we have today. 80% of our children are born out of wedlock, and that's the women's choice.
But no, that's not the women's choice. That's the
It is a woman's choice. You
leaving.
goddamn right, it's a woman's choice. They woman decide. Women have the ultimate choice on who has sex and who gets born. Men have no rights after conception.
Yes, they do, because
no,
men
they don't
have to.
No,
use
ma'am.
their
See, this,
penis.
no. See, this is what I mean. This is more that emotional shit. How can
I'm
they?
sorry, sir. I'm not
It
trying
is
to
an
be
emotional
at all.
argument.
Being logical.
Men have no control over who gets born. If I wanted to have a child and you wanted to abort, can I force you? Yes or no?
No, you cannot.
No, okay.
You
And
can
if
sign
you
your
wanted to
rights
abort,
away.
and if you wanted to have it, and if you wanted to have the child, and I wanted you to abort, could I make you?
No, you cannot. But
No,
you didn't have to have sex with me unless I raped you.
Simple.
If I did not rape you, you didn't have to
No,
have
you won't
sex
overtalk
with
me.
me.
You won't overtalk me. Simple logic is, ma'am, women control at who gets born. And 80% of our children are born to childless homes, fatherless homes. That is women choosing to be pregnant before they get married. It is very simple. You want to reduce the out of wedlock birth rate, you marry before you carry. This is not new. So it's women's choice.
We can't place that solely on women.
Yes, we can.
You know?
Yes, we can. So basically, in your world, women are children.
I'm sorry?
So basically, in your world, women are children. It's always somebody else's responsibility.
No.
Then who do we place it on?
Woman.
Who do we place it? Okay, when a woman decides to have a baby outside of wedlock, who do we place it on?
That woman.
Thank you.
But we can, okay, so I would say majority of the blame is on the woman, because if it were up to me,
so were your mother and father married? Were your mother and father married?
I'm sorry?
Your mother and father, were they married?
No, but I grew up with my grandmother, and she's been married for 52 years.
So, and your grandmother's generation. So basically, your position is we can't blame the women for what the women do.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
But ultimately, whose responsibility is an individual's? Who owns the responsibility for individual actions?
A person does, the individual.
Right. So ultimate responsibility lies with who? The
person who's doing
the individual. Thank you very much. So you just undercut your argument again.
I haven't undercut my argument.
Yes, you have. You just don't. You have. You just don't know you've done it yet.
Can I please?
You've already undercut your argument. You just don't know you've done it yet. You're just talking at this point.
Kevin Samuels is never confusing. He's not emotional. He's not out to shame. He's just clear, crystal clear. And in this video, he single-handedly schools two modern women, both of whom came in with wild ideas about love, dating, and relationships. The first woman walks in with confidence, but her views are all over the place. She believes men should wait months before getting physical. She believes she should have control, but also wants a man to lead. She believes she's a catch, but has no idea what men actually value.